All right, and we are back in our last hour of Coffee and Conversations with Cassandra, and I'm going to throw this plug in for myself. I am Cassandra McDonald. I'm a candidate for State Representative of District 8, and for those of you who are not familiar with District 8, those are the cities of East Cleveland, Cleveland Ward 10, South Euclid, Richmond Heights, Beechwood, and Woodmere. So remember, you can go out and vote for me now or vote for me on November 8th, 2016. Either way, vote. And don't forget, don't stop at the top of the ticket. Bring it on down because we need good judges, good state reps, and things like that in office too. Okay, so we're back and we're wrapping up our segment talking about the East Cleveland Shaw cable station issue that we have. So, Mr. Rashid, tell us a little bit as we wrap up. Why is it so important to have vocational training programs, not just in East Cleveland, but in schools, period, for our youth?
Well, education and technology and the utilization of communication is going to be critical for our growth. Before we were all in the dark and blind and really did not know what was going on in our community. These opportunities clearly are probably going to be one of the most important ways for us to take and to grow our community in East Cleveland. This is not an antagonistic fight or a personal vendetta against anybody or anyone. It is an attempt to do every single thing that we can to change the climate in our own community. And once the kids are armed and knowledgeable, because it brings them into the process of being able to translate between what government and how they participate and how it affects them. And just looking at this young man sitting here with us this morning, and I just wanted to get your opinion, just from your perspective, what you think technology training, communications training, and vocational training, what has it meant to you, and what would it mean to you in terms of going out into the world and being prepared?
I think that it means a lot, not only to me but to other people who are my age, because it's good to have training before you go out there, because it's bad to just put somebody in a situation that they have no skills for or that they have no training for. Also, I think the way that everything is nowadays, where we really need jobs and money and stuff like that to survive. I think it's better to go in, like I said, into a situation knowing what you have to do to survive in that situation. Like you can't want a job at a big firm or something if you go into it not really knowing what you're doing or knowing how to be in that situation.
Exposure.
And when I went to, because I went to Cleveland Heights High School, I actually had a class called OWE. I think it stood for Ohio Workforce Education or something like that.
Right, I was in that class when I went to school.
I had that. It really helped though. But also another thing I want to say though is something that's not going to help you though if you're not trying to get the help. Like there was a lot of kids in there who were there just to be there.
Right.
So I mean, at the same time, I feel like we can do a lot of stuff. Like the city, not just East Cleveland, but other cities, they can do a lot of workforce training and just behavioral training or whatever. But if the kids aren't trying to do it, then it's not going to work. So I think honestly, just voting, if you try to start at the top but don't care about the bottom, then it's all going to fall, because at the end of the day, the bottom is what keeps the top balanced.
That's right.
So I feel like we got to make a change as people before everything else changes.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this banner behind my son, and he looks like a sportscaster. But okay, but yeah, and you know what, Antonio, you brought up a good point, because you said about the kids have to want it.
Yeah.
And it made me think, so the grown-ups, we're out here advocating for the vocational training programs, but how many kids or youth actually do get invited to the council meetings to say how much they need that training?
Exactly, and that's part of the process of allowing the students to come to City Hall, to film the council meetings, and to actually hear what is going on.
Hi, Ernest Smith.
It brings a lot of attention to what's going on in the community on a grassroots level. I mean, when you think about the fact that the last numbers I heard was something like about 17,000 people currently live in East Cleveland, and only 2,000 voted.
Yeah, yeah, and actually, it's the numbers are a little higher as far as the amount of residents there, and I believe, and I don't quote me as the numbers being concrete, but it's very close to it. That it was about 2,800 voters out of 14,000 plus residents, and that's all we had.
Right.
So and again, we need to get these issues out here. So. We're going to move on now to issue 33 and issue 32, which is a very hot topic item. These issues have to do with the Cleveland consent decree. It leads into Steve Loomis, which we all know the issue with the FOP, Fraternal Order of Police, and their endorsement of presidential nominee Donald Trump, and how pretty much city council is going against a lot of what we want implemented into the charter versus manuals and ordinances. And just to break it down before I get into it any further, charters are very important because charters basically are the law. They make it law. They make it where this thing can or cannot be done. A manual pretty much is just the instructional part of what should be done administratively, and the charter is more of a legal aspect of it. So when we talk about issues 33 and issue 32, I'm going to give you a little bit about what it is. So the Cleveland consent decree, there is a issue that will be on the ballot, issue 33, and people are saying that this ballot on the issue does not protect citizens from misbehaviors of police misconduct. And this is because issue 33 would pretty much give more loopholes as to the consequences of assault for police officers. And you got to look at it from a union standpoint. And a lot of police officers, whether they're reprimanded or not, or put on leave or terminated, they generally are able to fight for their positions back again through the police union, which is why we pretty much say we have a conflict of interest between Stephen Loomis, with him sitting on the consent decree and also having to, to deal with the union aspect of it. So that's a major conflict of interest for me. And also, issue 32 is about raising taxes to get more money to arm the police or put more police on the force. Now, the question here is, and I want you all to call in on this very important topic at 216-939-5087. Again, 216-939-5087. Do we feel that it's necessary to have more police officers on the force when we have an issue